Alright guys, welcome to my second video in the Google Sheets formula playlist. So today we're going to talk about a few more formulas. The first formula I would like to teach you about is the if formula. I'll put an equal to and if. You'll see that there are different if functions that are available. Let's start with the basic if. I click on enter. You see that I get this pop-up with an explanation. First is a logical expression, value if true and value if false. Okay, so if is used in case you want to know, or in case you want to give a value if a certain cell is meeting your condition, right? So let's say I will select this cell and say that if this is greater than 20,000, right? In this case it's false, it's showing you as false. Now I can give a value where if this is true, I'll put a value. Let's say I will put, all right, this is my value. If let's say this condition or this statement that I've given is true, you'll have to put text in double quotes so that it will take this as a string and put that in your cell. If you're not putting it in double quotes, it will think that it is a formula or a variable that is that gets tagged in the sheet, and it will give you an error because it will not be able to find that variable. Okay, and if it is false, I'll say that. So you can see that this is the value that is returned to my condition. So what I'll do is, if I copy this and let's say paste it somewhere, right, it is going to automatically update the formula according to the respective position or relative position with which I've copied from, right? I've put this in K3. I've taken the relative position or the function in F3, right? So when I've pasted it in K6, it is going to automatically change to F6. So you can see that this is the formula bar, and you'll be able to see within the formula. So if I just look at the sheet and see this cell, I would not know if it's a formula or not. But when I click on this, I'll be able to see the formula in the formula bar. So what I can do is I'll copy and I will select the rows and copy and paste the same formula. You can see that it is automatically getting changed with respect to the total number of deaths that are there, right? So in this case, the deaths are more than 20,000. So it's showing that this state has more than, this state is having more deaths. So if I want to know what is the state that is having more deaths, instead of this state, I would want to know, okay, Kerala is having more or less deaths, right? In this case, I will do some tweaks inside my if function. So firstly, I'll show you, if I do not put the double quotes, what's going to happen, right? Without double quotes, let's say, okay, and if it's false, let's say I'll put high. So you see that there's an error coming and there's a formula parse because it is not able to identify what this is. If you put it in double quotes, it will identify that, okay, this is a plain string or a plain text that I just need to copy it in the cell. So now if I want to know which is the state that is having or which is the state that is being referred to in this cell, let's say I'll click on this. You can see that there's a B3 that is getting selected, and I'll just put comma and I'll say again B3. You can see that there's a Kerala that is coming here. Okay, now I want Kerala is having less number of deaths. Okay, so in that case, what I can do is write the whole thing. So this was what we had previously. Now if I want to change this state to Kerala or automatically update it, and if I put B3, which is the same cell that Kerala is in, and I click on enter, you will see that, okay, as this is false, let's say I'll change this to B3 as well. Okay, you can see that the B3 is not referring to the cell, but it is coming as a plain text because it is still inside this double quote. Let's do one more thing. Let's delete this and I'll put B3 over here. Now you can see that B3 got selected, and I will click on enter. You see that there's still an error coming because it's not able to understand what this function is. So for this, there is one more method that you can do, All right. So if I want to say, or if I want to give this B3 as a notation over here, what I'll do is first I'll exit this double quotes. I'll put a double quote again. So you can see that it is not getting highlighted, which means it has exited the double quote. I'll put an ampersand. What ampersand does is it will go into formula, not as a text right now. And I can say I can all, even if I want to, I can put a different formula, or I can just select a cell. Let's say I select B3, and you can see that B3 got selected. I'll put ampersand to close that formula. Also, I'm going to enter into text. All right, now we can see that Kerala is having more number of deaths. So I'll put the same thing on here as well if it is true, right? Now we can see that Kerala is having more number of deaths, and if I just copy and paste this over here, you can see that it is changing automatically for the cells that you want to tag. So it is showing that, okay, Andhra Pradesh is having more number of deaths, and then you can see that Uttar Pradesh is having less number of deaths, and all of these. So this is how you can tag a cell inside a formula or inside a double quote. So the next formula I would like to show you is Ifs formula. So what Ifs does is we can put different conditions and different values, where if, let's say, if condition 1 is true, it'll put the first value, and if condition 2 is true, it'll go to the second value. So like that. Okay, so let's say I go and select this and give a condition that if it is greater than 5 lakh, and if this is greater than 1 lakh, then I'm also going to give a third condition where if this is less than 1 lakh. All right. So when I click on enter, you can see that it is coming as high infections. Let me just copy paste till the last row. So you can see that all of these are high infections, and these are medium infections, and these are less infections. I'll show you one case where if I put this condition, I'll just cut it and paste it in the beginning and click on enter. So because I've put the first condition as greater than 1 lakh is medium, then again I've put it greater than 5 lakhs is higher infection rate. It is taking this as the first medium infections only, because once it reaches a true condition in ifs, it will not go and check the other conditions. It will only see that, okay, this is true, then I can omit this loop, and it will come out of that loop. So it's kind of a loop where if this first function is false, then it will go to the second function, and then if it's the second condition is also false, it will go to the third one, and so on and so forth. All right, so as this is given in the first condition that it is greater than 1 lakh, it is medium infections, even the 60 lakh cases is coming as medium infections, because it satisfied the first condition and it has exited the loop. So what to do in such cases, right? You will need to tweak the function. You can either write the function in descending order like we have written before, but in some cases even writing like that might not work, right? So you'll need to give the additional condition. So what I'm going to do is I'll say that so I have changed the condition where I say that, okay, if it is greater than 1 lakh, but if it is less than 5 lakhs, it is a medium infection, and if it is greater than 5 lakhs, it is high infections, and then if it is less than 1 lakh, it is less infections, and you can see that this has now changed to high infections. So that is how ifs function work, right? So you can put as number of as many conditions as you want, and it will take, if whatever condition is coming as true, it will take it as if. And let's say there is a case where it is not satisfying any of these conditions, right? So let me just change the total number of conditions over here to 5 lakhs. So you see that there's an NA function that is coming. So what NA function is, there's no match, because in the ifs functions we have included the range between less than 1 lakh to more than 5 lakh, right? The first case we are including 1 lakh 1 to 4 lakh 99,999. And in the second condition I am starting the range from 5 lakh 1 and above, and in the third condition it is less than 1 lakh, which is 99,999 is the whole number. There's no condition that is following where the total number of cases is equal to 5 lakhs. It's always less than or more than 5 lakhs, but there's no condition where it is equal to 5 lakhs. So if I put equals to over here, it has changed again to high infections. So this is how you use ifs function. Let us go and see the next, that is IFNA. So what IFNA does is, in the previous case where we do not have match, it is coming as NA, right? So let me just copy this whole thing. I will enter it over here. It's coming as NA. That means it is not available and there's no match over here. So in this case, if I go to the front of this, I'll put a bracket, I'll say if NA, right? So this is the value, and if this value is NA, we can put our own custom value, right? So this is the value. This whole thing, as you can see, is the value, and at the end if I click on a comma, you can see that it is changing to value if NA. So I'll put that not found. So you can see that there's a not found coming for this one, but for others it is coming as high infections, because it is not, there's no NA for coming for this value, so it is not taking to the next custom value that we have put. Okay, but if there's an NA value, or if it is not satisfying the condition in the first one, or the value is coming as NA, then it will take the second value that we have put. So that is how if NA works. So the next function is if error. I will just copy this whole formula, paste it here, and I'll put if error. So it works the same as if NA, but the difference between if error and if NA is, if NA only works if there is an NA error that is coming, but if error works for all the type of errors that are coming in your formula. There can be value error, there can be NA error, and then can be an error as well. And this is how if error works. You can use if error instead of if NA as well, if you do not know what is the error that might pop up. Today I have showed you if function, ifs function, if NA, if error, and also custom formula inside double quotes. Stay tuned for more videos on formulas. Thank you.